Russian mauling. And they love that on the bench. And he timed it right well. It just wasn't the physical power, it was the timing as well. That's why he's nearly a billionaire.
And at last, Kemp has taken a break. And at last, a three-pointer for Russia.
Domani, who has been consistent right the way through this tournament. Larry Johnson-Yuan gets his first two of the match. Bazarevich, Nosov. Good move. One of their best offensive moves of the match.
Yeah, the Russians playing with a lot of pride. I think they've conceded the game now, but they're just going to make a festivity they possibly can. Good fast break, good trailing move.
Pashutin it was making the burst. And Nosov who drew the foul. And goes to the line. Plays in the Slovenian league for Olimpia Ljubljana.
His club won the European Cup, the secondary competition in Europe this year, so he's got one trophy on his shelf already. I think he's going to get a silver tonight.
4 minutes left in the first half. Dominic. Marley. No basket for Larry Johnson, but a foul called against Pashutin. So timeout called, and a chance for the Russians to regroup. USA leads 61-28.
Eurogoals. Every week on Eurosport, a roundup of the best of European football. Replays of the most spectacular goals from all the championships. Analysis of the latest results. The gripping moments from the great matches. Eurogoals. Follow the top European teams in their race to the title. Eurogoals is brought to you by Peugeot. Monday at 11 p.m, Eurogoals on Eurosport.
It'll be interesting to see how long they can keep this kind of momentum up. The biggest win they've had is against Australia, 130-74, 56-point win. That was in their opening match. But in other matches since then, they've kind of gone to sleep, but I don't think that's going to happen here for some reason.
No, it's difficult to think of how Don Nelson actually motivated his team, but one of the things he could have said was just compare yourself with Dream Team 1, and perhaps their biggest margin was 68 against Angola, so perhaps that's what they're after tonight. It certainly looks that way. 63-28 at the moment, still in the first half.
That was Kisurin, and they're going for more and more hopeful shots now. Price. And even the mistakes are covered up. O'Neill has Nosov behind him. And he draws the foul against Kisurin. The Russians have been building since mid-May for this tournament, and it's paid off in bundles. Played so well. Had a 3-week camp in Moscow, followed by a tournament in Buenos Aires. Then they went to Berlin, Athens, and St. Petersburg. And a young team have gelled really well, but they've just been blown apart by this awesome display of power. And again, they get the rebound. That was Marley that time. And the possession.
Part of the exercise of one of the reasons why the NBA players are in this and in the Olympics is to compare Europe and the rest of the world with the players of the NBA. And I think there's no question that Europe and the rest of the world are still decades behind the standard of the NBA players.
There's a three from Damani.
Just an example of what I was just talking about. Young Nossoff had a good game against Dino Raja, one of the best European centres, but he really is struggling against the best NBA centre, Shaquille O'Neal.
And Price going through one of those phases where he just can't miss. Kisurin. Oh dear.
Well, when the Russians get an offensive rebound, they give it away.
And Mali, the three-point shooter, laps up the Christmas present. Babkov. It's run and gun at the moment. Into the last 2 minutes of this first half here. O'Neal goes on his own, but travels.
Courtside announcer enjoying himself as well, and why not?
So the most in a half is 71. That was against China. They only won it by 55, 132-77 in the end. Well, even on this evening, there can be some mistakes. Well played, Damani. That was excellent.
Well, even in their worst nightmares, I think the Russians would have not liked a 33-point margin at the end of the game, but here it is. It's now 35, and we're not even the end of the first half.
Just brushing these big men aside as Shaquille. Shooting with two. Offensively, the Russia not doing too badly. Defensively, they just can't cope.
Defensively, they're not on the same planet, I'm afraid.
Mali. Here's Price. Johnson, O'Neal. Oh, yes! The fake in midair, and he makes the lead 35 now. Nossoff. No wonder he's having to put up shots like that. It's terrifying what's happening.
And the big guy plays defense as well. Mali can't believe he travelled. Good call, actually, from the referee. But look at this slam move there from Shaquille. And then he goes and plays defense.
There's the little shimmy. So the standards hardly dropped as the seconds tick away then at the end of this first half. So they've broken their own record for points and a half. The first to go. There'll be many more, as Roy was saying. Babkov with a couple, and that's the end of a half. One of the finest halves of basketball I've ever seen. Certainly the best half of basketball ever in the World Championships.
And I think the Russians will say that as well. They have been on the end of a real spectacular half of super offensive basketball, and the defense was pretty good as well.
So I hope you're setting your video at home, because this is something to treasure over the rest of the summer. They go off as happy as Larry. And the USA leads 73-40 at halftime. 5%. And they were all on the act, weren't they? Coleman started it off, I remember. Dumas, Price, Mali, who's the king of the three-pointers. He didn't really feature in that, but practically everybody else did. So Coleman leads the point scorers, but it's so well spread.
That has to be a first. I cannot imagine another match where the leading team has had a higher three-point percentage than a two-point percentage. That must be unique.
And it's not just like there were a few of them, there were loads. Damani, top scorer, you saw his dunk at the end there.